I'll tell you that at night, this cabin has to have a much different feel.
Yeah.
During the day, it's all bright and cheery, and you look out this window, you can see a deer or a black bear at any moment. And then at night, man, every noise has got to freak you out. It has to.
It's a 200-foot walk from the car to the cabin.
And it's pitch dark, right?
It's a different type of dark. It's like you're blind dark.
Oh.
And things just make noise out there. And you're like, what is that? And I swear, I am a nervous wreck. I shake to open the door. I got my phone lying there. I dropped the phone. The other day, I dropped my phone outside. I left it outside. I was so scared. I left my phone outside and just went to sleep.
See, I'm breaking you down. This is what I'm good at, breaking you down. You're like, no, Ope, you're going to love this place. It's so cool. You're scared of darkness. I hate it here.
This is the worst decision I ever made in my life.
No one's worried that it's like in the 60s in November in New York City.
I think it's great.
I love it.
Al Gore's mad, but I'm happy.
Because I drink bourbon.
Yeah.
And I just use beer as a lubricating agent so that I can get drunk and fall asleep out here in the wilderness.
And forget about your problems.
Oh, man, they don't go away anymore. There's too many. There is too many. My life is so awful right now.
I got the snowing Christmas tree. It's the biggest nightmare on earth.
Well,
I threw it down the garbage chute. I hope the kids aren't listening right now.
Really?
Yes.
So it's just a mess?
It's a complete mess. It's I don't know what the snow's made out of, but it's the lightest material.
It's something that causes something wrong with your lungs.
So we've been finding that shit for years all around the house. It just blows all over the place.
I don't know. What's he talking about?
Like the snow.
You've never seen the snowing Christmas tree?
I haven't either. Like what part snows?
It shoots out the top. It's a little primitive.
Sounds like poison. You're poisoning your family.
Asbestos.
I would actually have some kind of tube that goes up into the ceiling and then shoots down onto the tree. This thing, it shoots out of the top of the tree.
I'm concerned with what's the snow.
It's beanbag chairs.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow. So you're like your Christmas
How
tree.
white is your Christmas, Opie?
Right.
If you inhale, this stuff will go 3 rooms over.
Yeah.
It is light.
It looks like
How light is it?
It looks like your tree is jizzing. Yeah. It should be called the jizzing Christmas tree. It's so weird.
All right, so your grandfather goes to you. You're not like your brother, who's like just highly intelligent.
Yeah.
It's going to be this incredible doctor.
Always a nerd.
Yeah.
And he was like Morrissey when he was a little kid, like sexless.
Really?
He didn't like girls.
Did he like boys, though?
No, he didn't like anything.
So how did
he
he
would study all day like a weirdo?
How did he get into,
I think his wife bumped into his crotch and he's like, will you marry me?
With Obama and Romney, the storm hit Sandy, and Chris Christie had to hug Obama and practically give him a hand job.
Yes, just to get the Jersey Shore back
and
together.
I knew then, I'm like, the minute I saw them out there buddying it up and yucking it up and walking down the boardwalk, smiling and taking photo ops, I went, oh, I don't even have to vote. This is a fucking lock. Obama's got this. It's a lock. When your enemy has to blow you on the 7 o'clock news, that's a good day. That's a good day.
It's funny you should say that because my daughter went on a play date recently. It was me and the dad. So he doesn't work. He does nothing. I go, what do you do? He goes, I do nothing.
Was he at Sirius XM too?
He collects records. I kind of got along with the guy. He collects records. He collects all the Beatles imports. Oh, you need the Japanese press because of blah, 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 blah.
You think that's cool?
It was cool listening to records with the guy.
Oh my God, Opie. Give me 1 second. Where were you? Would he just bring a record player on a dolly?
I went to his house.
Okay.
With, and our kids play together.
Do you stare at each other while the record's playing? Do you look at other stuff? Do you look at your phone?
Well, it was one of those snowy days in New York City. So I was looking out the window.
You guys were looking out the window listening to records?
Making believe I cared about the Japanese import of the Beatles Abbey Road.
You hated it. Don't lie to me. You hated me.
You know what? You're right. You're right.
That guy sucks.
Huh?
You don't like going to the bathroom outside?
I can.
It's one of my favorite things to do here.
Yeah.
Peeing in nature is...
You're not trying to look at my peen, are you?
I mean, why don't you go outside right here by the window? Come on, Kaza. Do the right thing.
It's not gay if there's not a house 10 miles from here.
Do Uncle Carl a favor and go take a pee-pee by the window.
I didn't even watch because
I saw some of that game. By
I was too busy at birthday parties, walking around Times Square. Do you do a lot of kids parties with your kid?
I do a couple.
Like
with my
every
boys,
fucking
their
weekend?
kids, I'll take my kid, but not every weekend. No, I can't do it.
I tell my wife, I'm like, we don't have to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
Me and Vic were talking about this on the way home Friday when we were walking through the park, enjoying some fireworks together.
Seriously.
Look at Vic, seriously.
To kick off Marathon Weekend. We walked up on some awesome fireworks.
Yeah, they do have good fireworks.
But they had this one section that wasn't like closed down, so we got really close. I don't think you were supposed to be that close to the fireworks.
The exploding pods.
Really?
We were way closer
way
than
too
we were
close.
supposed to be. Yeah.
That shit was spraying down all around us.
Shouldn't they rope it off?
No, they had like one fire truck and nobody was wandering around. There was there was a fire truck parked there, but I didn't see a fireman.
And I'm assuming that they just didn't think anyone would be going that way. But anyway, we were talking about this. like, you don't have to say yes to everything.
No,
or you spend your entire life hanging out with an 8-foot fucking hero.
I got a Jewish girl story, if it makes you feel better.
When I met Marie, my wife, she said, this guy, old school guy from Brooklyn, one of the most racist, funniest stories I ever heard. He goes, Carlo, let me talk to you for a second. He goes, you dating a CG? That means Sicilian. I said, yeah, she's beautiful. All right, good for you, huh? That's the setup. You know, here it comes.
Oh, boy.
He goes, you know what marrying a CG is like, right? I said, no. He says, I'll tell you. He says, you see all these people over here celebrating you when they come to your wedding? You know why? They never seen a talking goat before.
Whoa.
I said, what?
Whoa.
He goes, that's why they're here. They come to your wedding because they never seen a goat talk before. That's a Sicilian.
What the hell?
He goes, guess what? When you take the goat home, you're going to realize goats got nothing good to say. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your day, son.
Wow.
I said, thanks a lot, bro. Wow. Open bar, by the way.
There you go.
If you don't know him that well, why are you there?
Because that's a great question.
I don't go to parties of people that I don't know that
you.
well. Yes, exactly.
I know how to bring my kid. But I'm with you.
No.
I look at my kid and I'm like, do you care about this kid's party or whatever? And if he doesn't give me a real big, oh, yeah, you know, we hang out, then we're done, man.
All right.
This is one we don't have to go to.
In life, I think what I've learned in my 43 years of being alive is there's two types of people.
You're only 43?
Yeah. But like Chef 43. I'm 112. I'm like Yoda. When I was a little kid, you know what I did for a little while where my parents thought I was crazy? I would dig ditches and cover them in leaves and just watch people fall into them.
I love you.
So like all the other kids are playing tag, I'm building a hole and then cover it and then just watch like Brian Langpoot from down the street just get crushed in this little ditch.
How dumb is he?
Oh, I was a little smarter than him, and it would make my week when I would see this little dum-dum with his ice cream running across the yard and whoop, he was gone.
Of course.
I loved it.
Are you familiar with the trampoline park, the Sky Zones?
Oh,
you know what those are?
My nephew down in Philly, that's where he had his. Now that shit is awesome.
They are amazing.
What is that?
It's like a trampoline park on steroids.
There it is.
Yeah,
yes,
they're called Sky Zones.
yes.
I got yelled at a lot.
Jumping?
A lot. I couldn't help myself.
Having too much
can
fun.
you?
A lot.
You'll be partying there till 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's guess what? Girls are like vampires. Once they see the light, you're done.
Yeah.
They don't want it.
That's it.
You gotta move in the dark. So
You gotta move in the dark.
So yeah, I'm not a looker either. You know what I mean? I look really bad at 6 in the morning.
I'm speeding this along because I noticed that the sun is starting to go down, and I don't want to be at your cabin when it gets dark.
Me either. Can I go?
Okay. We're going to go get a bite to eat and hang out with some townies. But
Did you see, for adults now, the booby jumpy house at the sex museum?
No.
It's all boobs. Pull it up, Paul. Pull it up. Made out of all boobies.
I think I heard people talking about this
At the
as
sex
I was
museum.
walking
Oh,
through the
I like
park.
it.
There we go.
That's crazy good. That's a lot of fun.
So
Crazy good.
That's wonderful.
Because we had drinks before we went in.
Sure.
It was great.
Did you actually go in it?
Oh, yes, sir.
All right. Very good.
Oh, yes, indeedy.
That's great.
The boobs look really dumb, though.
Great trip. Started in Sedona. Drove from Sedona to the Grand Canyon, which is... It's like God's country. It's so ridiculous how nice it is. If you drive from Sedona to the Grand Canyon and don't appreciate that ride, then you're not human.
You're dead inside.
You're dead inside. Yeah. So we have this great trip to the Grand Canyon, which I could tell on a future podcast.
Isn't that place majestic?
Ridiculous.
It's one of the few places that I've gone that I'm like, okay, it was worth it.
Yeah, of course. And you realize how insignificant you are and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, my mom did a good job of that. I didn't have to go to the Grand Canyon for that.
So,
were you single?
Yeah.
How many?
I put up numbers.
Good numbers, right?
Good numbers. Solid numbers.
West Coast, you put up.
West Coast. I belong on the West Coast.
I put up numbers on the West Coast. I'm like exotic. I'm like a fat unicorn.
Woman dies after being shoved in front of Times Square subway train, subject in custody. We're in Times Square. What line was the two? What? So they were arguing, and then the one just pushes. God, we lose a few this way every year, huh?
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Little argument and then a little pusheroo. Right outside here.
That's close to here.
Yes, that's the one a lot of us use.
That's the lady who did the pushing?
They've already got a picture.
You crazy bitch.
She looks like a crazy bitch.
You nutty professor.
I'm back against the wall guy. Do you trust? You trust?
I stand close to the edge sometimes. I gotta admit it. I'm the dude looking down.
Oh, I'll take a little peek.
But I've been in the city my whole life. I know a pusher's face.
Yeah, but finally they got the...
You know who looks a little pushy.
They all look pushy.
To play it off like everybody's equal.
They all look pushy down there. Are you kidding?
Not everybody.
They all look pushy. They all look pushy, my friend.
And plus, I look like a lot to push. So I don't feel like somebody's going to actually push me in. But when I was young, I feared that shit.
Dude, spider.
There's a spider.
I didn't believe you.
There he is.
We're in Carl's cabin in the middle of the woods in New Jersey, and he told me about the spiders, but that's the first one I saw. Yeah. I killed as many Look at that spider. Dang.
Quick here.
What kind of spider is that?
Scary, creepy spider.
Have you been bitten by the spiders in the cabin?
I kill them right away. Sometimes when I see more than 2 spiders, I put the whole place on lockdown.
Yeah.
And I don't go to sleep till nothing moves.
I saw a lady on 86th Street 2 weeks ago. She had her earbuds in and was in her phone not paying attention, and at the bus stop stepped in dog shit and skidded. And like the bus had to hammer its brakes to keep from plowing into her. She almost, the bus had to lay on its brakes or she was going to skid right her shit blam blam. Right. Because I'm like,
so many.
I didn't know there was a part 2 to the story. Part 1 was funny. And part 2 almost tragic.
Well, it's almost funnier.
Yeah, in a way.
We're going to see that. I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet.
There's so many near-death situations in New York City.
Yes.
You know right away because you could feel the greasiness of it.
Exactly. It's the whole...
Because dog poo would be like...
It's got a different texture.
You step in dog poo, you stop immediately. Human poo, you're going to slide.
Oh, my God. It is so slippery, and you can't get it off. Mm-hmm. Opie, I left my shoe right
Oh, no, I've thrown sneakers away after...
I got into a cab with no sneakers, and I didn't think of any other logical thing to do.
Yeah.
There was no way I wanted this shoe on me for another second.
Right.
Let's go to Phil in Texas. Phil, go ahead.
Hey, what's up, boys?
Hey, man.
There's a big mall west of Houston. I'm really from Tomball, Texas, but I work around Houston area. And there's a big Katie Mills Mall where they got the Polo outlet. Well, they got one of those bouncy deals with the trampolines in there like y'all were talking about earlier.
Sky Zone.
And they had a kid's birthday, and there was like beautiful hot wives, like model wives live in Cinco Ranch. And these 2 dudes were and they got like a basketball goal. One's an NBA size, and then one's, with the glass backboard.
Yeah.
And one of those daddies double bounced that motherfucker, and he went up and hit his head on that rim and cracked that son of a bitch wide open. And you've never seen so many rich women trip out over the Abercrombie-looking dude. He was all laid over that trampoline. Kids were crying. And all them fucking kids' faces were pressed up against the glass, like making fun of them, like they're on a school bus or some shit.
That's awesome.
I was dying laughing, dude.
Oh yeah, I get it. The trampoline park. All of a sudden, you lose your mind.
Right there. If you hit that rim,
well, this is the slam ball.
his buddy, like, because they only let you go one at a time, and the guy that's running the thing, he looked like he smoked like a whole bag of dope. I don't know if they were drunk.
Oh!
But he double bounced his bastard, and his head just cracked.
Right. One good thing about the gay community, especially out on the West Coast, is as a heterosexual, having a large gay community lets you say things that you can't say, like on the East Coast. Like when I'm on the West Coast, I can be like in a room full of girls. I'm like, I'm sad. And everyone's like, oh, that's all right. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm in New York and I'm like, I'm sad, they're like, go to a doctor. Right. What's wrong with you?
You can show your feminine side.
Oh, yeah. Like the whole time I'm like,
that's hilarious.
Like, oh, my God, I love meringue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, my God, cupcakes. And it's totally cool.
Because as men... Right. My wife talk about this a lot. Right. As men, we're not really allowed to show our feminine. And every male has a feminine side.
Oh my God!
And
when I'm
F you if you disagree with that.
Yes, I'm in California crying, eating ice cream, watching rom-coms,
and they're just getting wet. Oh my God! Because women want you to show a bit of a feminine, a bit of emotion.
I cry the whole time I'm in California. I'm just a basket case.
But this guy, he just snuck on there and double bounced this guy. And then he went for like some back, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins thunder slam. It cracked it wide open, dude. Blood everywhere. Kids pressing their nose.
All right, we got it. I can't hear that enough.
Really? I saw a shaman. And that's the reaction I wanted.
What did you do? What, did he give you a pair of nunchucks?
Oh, wait till I tell you that.
A shaman?
An actual
How rich are you?
Shaman with the tribal drums in my building in Manhattan.
No.
Waking up the neighbors. I'm like...
He came to your apartment?
Yeah. Meditating, shooting arrows at all my enemies.
He shot arrows, like real arrows?
At all my enemies during meditation.
Did I get hit with an arrow?
No.
I don't know what's going on now. I'm so confused.
No, that's when I knew you were a real dude.
Because he said no arrow.
I go, what about Carl? He said, nah.
No arrow for him.
Nah, Carl was cool. Right, Carl. Carl was in a pelt fighting your battle. I saw a shaman.
This is creepier than your neighbor holding your hand listening to Beatles records.
No, he wasn't holding my hand.
Oh, it was close.
He wasn't holding my hand.
Look at how you framed the story. Well, it was snowing out.
I saw a shaman.
Oh, man.
Jana Reno has died at the age of 78.
Did she really?
Yeah, I saw that yesterday.
She looked older than that, didn't she?
Who used to do her on Saturday Night Live?
Will Ferrell, right?
So good. It's just horribly.
Oh, she was a handsome woman.
Look at his face.
She was a handsome woman.
I gotta say this carefully,
please, because I'm already on the fence with this whole podcast thing. You with the shaman.
I was scared. I snorted heroin.
What?
Never done heroin before.
Me either, but how do you'll know. Did your nose burn?
It's a story for another podcast.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah. For a while, I thought I might have snorted heroin by accident.
By accident?
Yes. No, I'm paranoid of all hardcore drugs.
What? How are you in an...
We got to settle in and do the shaman story on a future
Did he bring the powder with him?
Yes.
So you thought
it was part of the whole thing with the tribal drums and the meditation and the Reiki.
And is this on Craigslist or Angie's list?
No, he's a legit guy.
Okay, I understand it, Opie, but what do you
he raises bees.
I want to fight this guy. I'm going to hit this guy with a bat. This isn't real.
It's real.
Opie, you know how
in a hoity-toity apartment in Manhattan, a shaman came over with all the stuff.
What stuff?
Like
heroin pouches,
bone necklaces, and
and
leaves that he had to rub all over me
in Manhattan.
Yes.
So he drove his little smart car up to your house with all this shit.
No, this guy doesn't. No, he's the real deal.
The real deal of what?
I don't know. He wasn't faking it. Let's just put it that way. There's fakers out there. This guy believes everything he was doing.
There's a guy on 3rd Avenue that throws poo. He ain't faking it either.
No, this guy believes.
Politics is no different than professional wrestling. Are you for this side? Are you for this side? This side believes we should shut down the walls of America. I say we let everyone in. Make sure you get your T-shirts and contribution with $100. You get a brand new shirt and you get to shake hands with someone that knows Billy Cook.
So I built this birdhouse outside.
Yeah.
So I could see the birds. Look how dumb I am. I didn't put a little piece of wood by the hole.
No, they can't stand.
So the birds fly into it. They hate it,
Right.
and then they leave.
You need something they could stand on, and then they could go into the little hole.
Yeah.
And you need a little feeder tray.
Right, birdhouse expert. I didn't know any of this. Birdhouse whisper.
I got one at my beach house. And I'm like, ooh, another sparrow.
Sparrow.
Let's acknowledge it's not going to work anymore. What were we going to say?
It'll work. Steven Tyler pulled a Rudy Giuliani. Fuck me. Steven Tyler pulled a Rudy Giuliani. See, it's I told you it wouldn't work.
No, try again. It'll work.
You're wearing a P Strong hat. You better pull through, bro.
Try again. It'll
You mean
work.
Steven Tyler pulled a Rudy Giuliani?
Why would you try it again?
I fall for it every time.
So you know my brother Brett, who owns F.H. Riley's.
Yeah.
That's why I think me and you hit it off, because you remind me of my brother a lot, and he's a hard worker like you.
He's a tough dude, man.
And he had the tough path. You know, he went into
everything hurts.
Pretty much what your story is more or less his.
We all have the same. It's funny.
He started young and had to work his way up, and now he owns a great restaurant in Huntington. But he fired his twin brother because of opening up restaurants at night. So my brother is working at Friendly's. I mean, now he's well established, has his own place, but he's slaving away for everybody else, like we've all had to do. And he's literally like a rock star for Friendly's, but not being paid. But he pretty much is running the joint. And he hires my brother because my brother is like, no offense to his twin, but I mean, he did very well with his life as well, but a fuck up at the time. So my brother's trying to take care of him. He's like, I don't know, after the restaurant closes, we need a cleaning guy. You mop the floors, you clean this and that, clean the bathrooms.
We call them porters.
Right, exactly. And my brother Quinn needed a gig, so he's like, all right, and he takes the gig. And my brother Brett, like you, because he has good instincts and he's street smart, it's like, man, something's not right. Something's not right. So he goes up 25A to this Friendly's that's still there to this day, even though they split into two establishments. And there's my brother having an after party at Friendly's.
That must have been a good
after party. He's firing up the grill. He's He's not a cook.
I want to be invited to one of those.
Scooping the ice cream and making the cheeseburgers.
I want to be there so bad. Those are the best parties in the world.
Boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boo. Boom, 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 boom. Boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boo. I was having a who gives a crap birthday, but it was a nice birthday, Not every birthday is going to be over the top. We all know that. And Carl was incredibly busy. He was still doing my podcast, but he was also working no joke, 70, 80 hours a week at La Cubana. And he called me on my birthday. And he goes, what are you doing? I go, just having a lovely birthday, man. It's chill. Kids are at school, whatever. I'm hanging with the wife. He goes, I'll be right there. I go, Carl, I know you're busy. And I remember that particular day, he was really busy. Something was going on. And he goes, I'll be right there. I got something for your birthday. And I'm like, Carl, all right. He goes, meet me at Get Parts. I'm like, all right. So I go to Get Parts. He had no time. I meet him there. He's like, let's try their hot dogs. I'm like, all right. So we both had a hot dog, had a beer, and he wanted to make sure I was having a decent birthday. And then all of a sudden he pulls out one of his custom-made knives that he was selling for. I just heard the number on I was listening to an old episode of the podcast because I'm rebranding them and putting them on Facebook and YouTube, especially the early days of me and Carl. So I'm rebranding them, Ruizing with Opie and Carl. I hope you're checking out some of those episodes. And one of those, we were talking about the custom-made knife, and I think Carl was selling them for like $500-$600, something crazy. So for my birthday, he pulls one of those suckers out. He goes, happy birthday.
I just want to make sure I acknowledge your birthday. I'm like, but you're crazy busy. He goes, I know I am. Let me finish this hot dog. Let me slam this shot of bourbon, and I got to get back to work. He was at Gephardt's for not even an hour. Came up, did the right thing, gave me one of his custom knives. We cheers for my birthday, ate a hot dog, and he ran right back to the subway to go back to La Cubana because he was in over his head. And I talked about this recently on a live stream. You know, in the end, you know, the best advice you could give anyone, I mean anyone, I don't give a crap who you are, is to just show up. It's so easy to come up with excuses. So easy. This is your sermon for a Sunday. Carl had no business running up to Gephardt's that day to make sure I was having a decent birthday and to give me a knife. You know, it was important that he gave me that present on my birthday, not the next day or a week later. It's like, no, I got to do this today. And, you know, a lot of us, we all have excuses why we can't do this or that. And I'm certainly very guilty of that. I'm not going to sit here and say that I've even close to perfect. I certainly work towards being a better person every day. But, you know, in the end, enough with the excuses and just show up. That's what Carl did that day. And I cherish. So this is your favorite knife. Oh, yeah. Didn't someone ask that recently? I forgot about that, I guess. So Carl showed up. He just showed up. It's as simple as that in the end. Just show up. So that I cherish. And I use it all the time now. At first, I didn't want to use it. I finally, I christened his knife. I think it was a couple months after he died. It was Thanksgiving, and I christened the knife that day, and it put a damn effing smile on my face. And I've been using it ever since, and taking care of it, and sharpening it, and not putting it in the dishwasher.